Don't frolic.
Dalish don't really frolic either. Not in the woods, anyway.
You have sanctioned frolicking areas?
No, just not in the woods. The trees get jealous.
But you do frolic.
Of course we do. We wouldn't be elves otherwise.
Ah, I'm gonna love this. Commandments of the Maker, and oh, that's long. These truths the Maker has revealed to me. As there is but one world, one life, one death, there is but one God, and He is our Maker. They are sinners who have given their love to false gods. Magic exists to serve man and never to rule over him. Foul and corrupt are they who have taken his gift and turned it against his children. They shall be named Malefica, accursed ones. They shall find no rest in this world or beyond. All the men are the work of our Maker's hands, and from the lowest slaves to the highest kings. Those who bring harm without provocation to the least of his children are hated and accursed by the Maker. Those who bear false witness and work to deceive others know this: there is but one truth. All things are known to our Maker, and He shall judge their lies. All things in this world are finite. One man gains, another has lost. Those who steal from their brothers and sisters do harm to their livelihood and to their peace of mind. Our Maker sees this with a heavy heart. Sounds fair enough, I suppose. It's not that bad. And we can't go in there. Let's see.
Oh, sorry. I didn't see you there. Sister Lima told me I should keep my head up more often.
Let's see. Andraste, bride of the Maker. There was once a tiny fishing village on the waking sea that was set upon by the Tevinter Imperium, which enslaved the villagers to be sold in the markets of Minrathos, leaving behind only the old and the infirm. One of the captives was the child Andraste. She was raised in slavery in a foreign land. She escaped, then made the long and treacherous journey back to her homeland alone. She rose from nothing to be the wife of an Alamari warlord. Each day she sang to the gods, asking them to help her people who remained slaves in Tevinter. The false gods of the mountains and the winds did not answer her, but the true God did. The Maker spoke. He showed her all the works of his hands, the Fade, the world, and all the creatures therein. He showed her how men had forgotten him, lavishing devotion upon mute idols and demons, and how he had left them to their fate. But her voice had reached him, and so captivated him that he offered her a place at his side, that she might rule all of creation. But Andraste would not forsake her people. She begged the Maker to return, to save his children from the cruelty of the Imperium. Reluctantly, the Maker agreed to give man another chance. Andraste went back to her husband, Mafarath, and told him that all that her Maker had revealed to her. Together they rallied the Alamari and marched forth against the mage lords of the Imperium, and the Maker was with them. The Maker's sword was creation itself, fire and flood, famine and earthquake. Everywhere they went, Andraste sang to the people of the Maker, and they heard her. The ranks of Andraste's followers grew until they were a vast tide washing over the Imperium. And when Mafarath saw that the people loved Andraste and not him, a worm grew within his heart, gnawing upon it. At last the armies of Andraste and Mafarath stood before the very gates of Minrathos, but Andraste was not with them, for Mafarath had schemed in secret to hand Andraste over to the Tevinter. For this the Archon would give Mafarath all the lands to the south of the waking sea. And so, before all the armies of the Alamari and of Tevinter, Andraste was tied to a stake and burned, while her earthly husband turned his armies aside and did nothing, for his heart had been devoured. But as he watched the pyre, the Archon softened. He took pity on Andraste, and drew his sword and granted her the mercy of a quick death. The Maker wept for his beloved, cursed Mafarath, cursed mankind for their betrayal, and turned once again from creation, taken only Andraste with him, and Our Lady sits still at his side, where she still urges him to take pity on his children. It's a cute little tale, if nothing else.
Qunari are a frightening sort. Demons, the whole lot of them. I do wish the Viscount would have them run off.
May the Maker's gaze be upon you. Did you notice Sister Alima missed 2 lines in her last sermon? I think her age is catching up with her.
Yes, I've noticed. The poor dear walked out of her chambers with her robes on inside out the other day.
Well, we can't have her forgetting her lines like that. People will talk.
Gossips. Let's see. Oh, that's the long one. It's only long bits of lore in here. Ugh. In the 30th year of the Steel Age, the first Qunari ships were sighted off the coast of Parvolan in the far north, marking the beginning of a new age of warfare. History calls this the First Qunari War, but it was mostly a one-sided bloodbath, with the Qunari advancing far into the mainland. Qunari warriors in glittering steel armor carved through armies with ease. Their cannons, the likes of which our ancestors had never seen, reduced city walls to rubble in a matter of seconds. Stories of Qunari occupation vary greatly. It is said they dismantled families and sent captives to the learning camps for indoctrination into the religion. Those who refused to cooperate disappeared to mines or construction camps. For every tale of suffering, however, there is another of enlightenment deriving from something called the Qun. This is either a philosophical code or a written text that governs all the aspects of Qunari life. Perhaps both. One converted Seheran reported pity for those who refused to embrace the Qun, as if the conquerors had led him to a sort of self-discovery. For all my life I followed the Maker wherever his path led me, he wrote, but in the Qun I have found the means to travel my own path. It has been said that the most complete way to wipe out a people is not with blades but with books. Thankfully, a world that had repelled 4 blights would not easily bow to a foreign aggressor, and so the exalted marches began. The greatest advantage of the Chantry-led forces was the Circle of Magi. For all their technology, the Qunari appeared to harbour great hatred for magic. Faced with cannons, the Chantry responded with lightning and balls of fire. The Qunari armies lacked the sheer numbers of humanity, so many were slain at Marna's Pell on both sides that the veil is said to be permanently sundered, the ruins still plagued by restless corpses. But each year the Chantry pushed further and further into the Qunari lines, although local converts to the Qun proved difficult to return to Andraste's teachings. By the end of the Storm Age, the Qunari were truly pushed back. Rivain was the only human land that retained the Qunari religion after being freed, and its rulers attempted to barter a peace. Most human lands signed the Lomerin Accord, excepting the Tevinter Imperium. It is a shaky peace that has lasted to this day. It was nice to know they actually could make peace. Religion has a nasty way of getting wars all over the place. So kinda nice to see that it didn't in this case, at least.
Take away this burning itch. If you do this for me, I'll never step foot
Oh,
again. I swear.
poor sod. I'm not sure I want to visit too many brothels now. Especially after that. The founding of the Chantry. Cordelius Dracon, king of the city-state of Orlais, was a man of uncommon ambition. In the year 15 Ancient, they have a weird counting system, The young king began construction of a great temple dedicated to the Maker, and declared that by its completion he would not only have united the warring city-states of the south, he would have brought Andrastian belief to the world. In -3 Ancient, the temple was completed. There, in its heart, Draco knelt before the eternal flame of Andraste and was crowned ruler of the Empire of Orlais. His first act as emperor, to declare the Chantry as the established Andrastian religion of the empire. It took 3 years and several hundred votes before Olessa of Monsimerd was elected to lead the new Chantry. Upon her coronation as divine, she took the name Justinia in honor of this disciple who recorded Andraste's songs. In that moment, the ancient era ended and the divine age began. Okay, so they're basically counting age on ancient history and then the inception of religion and stuff. Locks of the Golden Fool. Let's see, side quest. Satirical tome about a deluded brother, Chantry, who sought peace between elves and humans, a condemnation of fanatics of both races. It is favored by radical elves choosing to live in Darktown. Huh, I need to bring that to someone in Darktown, I suppose. History of the Chantry, Chapter 1. Ugh. I'm gonna lose my voice if I keep going like this, but it'll just have to do. It's better than just me reading it all and you having to sit there and listen to absolutely sod all, I suppose. Just tell me if you'd rather have me read this out loud, or if you would rather just read it yourself together with me while I'm dead quiet. Just comment and let me know. For now though, I'll try to read as much as I can. Out loud, I mean. Yeah. Anyway. Chapter 1 of the History of the Chantry. The first blight devastated the Tevinter Imperium. Not only had the Darkspawn ravaged the countryside, but Tevinter's citizens had to face the fact that their own gods had turned against them. Dumat, the old god once known as the Dragon of Silence, had risen to silence the world, and despite the frenzied pleas for help, the other old gods did nothing. The people of the Imperium began to question their faith, murdering priests and burning temples to punish their gods for not returning to help. In those days, even after the devastation of the First Blight, the Imperium stretched across the known world. Fringed with barbarian tribes, the Imperium was well prepared for invasions and attacks from without. Fitting, then, that the story of its downfall begins from within. The people of the far northern and eastern reaches of the Empire rose up against their powerful overlords in rebellion. The Tevinter Magisters summoned demons to put down these small rebellions, leaving corpses to burn as examples to all who would dare revolt. The Imperium began to tear itself apart from within, throngs of angry and disillusioned citizens doing what centuries of opposing armies could not. But the Magisters were confident in their power, and they could not imagine surviving a blight only to be destroyed by their own subjects. Even after the blight, Tevinter commanded an army larger than that of many other organized nations in Thedas, but that army was scattered and its morale dwindling. The ruin of Tevinter was such that the Almarit barbarians, who had spread their clans and holds over the wilderness of the Ferelden Valley at the far southeast edge of the Imperium, saw weakness in their enemy, and, after an age of oppression, embarked on a campaign not only to free their own lands, but to bring down the mighty Tevinter as well. The leaders of that blessed campaign were the great barbarian warlord Mafrath and his wife Andraste. Their dreams and ambitions would change the world forever. I'm actually starting to get the hang of reading and talking at the same time. It's been ages since I did that.
Oh, sorry. I didn't see you there.
Oh.
Sister Alima told me I should...
I feel a bit sorry for her. Okay, let's see. Let's check Darktown for that. satirical tome just to see then off to the Wounded Coast. It's so easy to get backtracked or sidetracked or whatever. It's easy to backtrack as well, but let's see, where do we want that one? In there. Okay. See who we're gonna turn this into, because it's been a while since I played, so I don't really remember who I was talking to while I was here last time. I remember Tom-wise.
Ferelden in the guard. What will they think of next?
You have a problem with that?
Me? My family's not native either. I'm just surprised. A lot of old prejudice in the guard.
I'll give them plenty of reason to change their minds.
You know, it's possible they're just scared shitless of you. That's my theory, anyway.
You go, Aveline.
Something of yours, sir.
You have done a great kindness in returning this.
Ah. Alright. Well, I do think that I won't really mind helping that guy. Oh, that's the ruins. Let's go to the Wind Coast and kill some mercenaries first. I do want to find Sebastian, damn it! Let's see. Let's see. It's... I hate splitting roads. Okay, they meet up. Well, they usually do meet up, but... I do... That's a good... let's see. Let's check this. Let's check out this. Wow, that is a big area. Let's see. And let's see. Can I? No. Yes. No. Maybe. That should be better. That's 4 is evade, 3 is the rush, and 1's that one. I hate spiders. Just go away. Go away, go away. Don't want you. Oh. I didn't mean to do that. That worked.
Out of your element, dwarf.
No thanks to this lot. Can't get a decent blade at a bargain anymore. You